Always blame it on something.
Okay, so give us a second here to load up the second game between these two players. Hopefully that sound issue is a little bit better. I was checking with that beforehand and people said we were fine, but apparently when we're like in game and getting excited, apparently I'm way louder than you.
It's all good. Production.
Yeah. It's been, almost a year since we casted together, so I mean, it's not like, wasn't expected that we were going to have any issues, maybe.
Potentially, yeah.
So if you hit the B button again, just let me know. We can fix that relatively easily.
Yeah, I'll just keep that away. I feel like I should get my screwdriver and just pry that button out of there, like tasteless keyboard style.
There's a worse button to hit.
Style.
You can hit the T button and it goes back to the start.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, you want to stay the hell away from that button.
Yeah, good thing it's so far away. Yeah. Because we have a Zurich player, I'm just like instantly feel like just spam clicking whenever I'm on top of the hatchery. Yeah. Alright, so I guess we're ready to go. Game number 2.
Alright, you got this all loaded up and ready to go?
Yep.
Okay, just let me make sure everything's still running okay. Taking a look at my computer, because it was being stupid earlier. I'm giving it the eye so it doesn't misbehave while I'm streaming. Okay, looks like I'm ready to go. So let's get going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yo guys, and welcome to game number 2. I'll take the reins here. On the top right, we have Fnatic Sen spawning as our Zuri player, Blue. And on the top left, we have our Protoss player, Startail Ace, as the red Protoss. So, good luck and have fun here as we are spawning close positions on this dandy map.
Yeah, and this is, of course, Gigabyte Stars War number 6. It's from the round of 32. This is going to be a best of 3 between these two players, and Ace is up 1-0 so far. Now we are on Tal'Darim Altar, which is going to be a much larger map than Xel'Naga Caverns, and that's a little bit of an understatement. Looks like Ace is going to be looking for another fast expansion. He went 15 Nexus versus a pool first Zerg player, and wound up winning, which can be very difficult to do, but that's the main issue with that build against a Zerg player is if they just go hardcore macro, it can be very tough to not get overwhelmed. But Ace just went for really quick blink supported with sentries and zealots, and he's like, hey, I can blink at 400 APM. And
exactly, Gateway exploded and just moved in, yeah.
When you're able to blink at that high effectiveness, it does tend to win you games just a little bit. The timing there is important as well. If he'd waited too much longer, then Sen would have just been macroing like a complete monster. It would have been
his
very
would have
difficult.
been unstoppable, a true tsunami of Zerg, which I was so hoping to see. But no, Ace threw down a pylon, blew up some gateways, and was able to move on in. So right now, looking a little similar to the previous game, but yeah, no Nexus here first. He does drop the Forge prior to that. But yeah, we'll be at 15 hats here from our Zerg King Fnatic Sen. Yeah, you gotta get used to these names not being the names, real coon.
Yeah. I think what they do with these really big tournaments is they'll use guest accounts, and so sometimes their names won't actually be their name. They do that to prevent people from checking match histories and knowing the results before they're broadcasted. And
yeah, like every time I click on Ace, I just want to like say something, but I don't know how to read Korean. So
yeah,
I gotta keep looking to the graphic and Startail Ace. Oh, pylon being thrown down here immediately. Looks like we have ourselves a possible cannon rush here. Now the probe is pretty far away. Yeah. Wow.
And this is a good play because he's got his Nexus on the way. If he goes for the cannon rush as opposed to the defensive cannons, it puts pressure onto Sen, even if it's not successful. As long as he doesn't overcommit to it and build 5 million cannons, then he'll be able to transition out of it just fine. You can see he's forcing a lot of extra Zerglings early on in the build. Last time around, Sen only made 2 in the early game, but Ace doesn't even look like he's going for the cannons. He just dropped a pylon to make his opponent pull drones and make extra Zerglings, and that for 100 minerals, that's a pretty good investment.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Like, he saw what Sen was doing in a previous game. He knew exactly how to just break that in case he was trying to aim for it yet again. By doing this, Sen might be a bit off kilter. And yeah, there are plenty of lings out there just to deal with a single pylon in his base. And yeah, no cannons were sent up at all. And yeah, he actually kept that probe alive too. Nice.
Oh, right as he said that, it actually looks like it was about to die. There was a full surround on that probe by the Zerglings.
Really adamant Zerglings. They want that rock dead. Yeah. Jeez. Well, either way, the probe's not doing any more tricky things, right? Yeah, it's heading right out there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's doing anything more tricky. I just find that amusing, because usually players like to prove a commentator's wrong. Oh, it looks like the probe's going to get out alive, dead. So I thought that's what they were doing. And then the Zerglings just ran right past it.
Zerglings like unburrow and just destroy him, right? Yeah. So we see Sen right now doing some drone scouting. He's able to go back there, does spot the second gas already up there. Second hatchery is up too, and we are going to see that Cybernesco just finish up right now.
Yeah, so...
Liking how he's leaving that one probe there. Always good to have those Zelda watchtowers on this map especially.
Yeah, and we're really waiting to see what Ace is going to be going for, because while this drone is sort of you know, walking around the base, hovering around, being Zergy, etc., Ace is going to be a little bit tentative about actually dropping his tech buildings. You can see he actually finished his cybernetics core, but he waited quite some time. He was going to finish a stalker just to chase away this drone first, and he gets onto the extractor with 1 health. Ooh. That drone barely getting onto the gas to steal it.
Gotta love those moments in StarCraft. Oh, he might die, but no, just completely does something just to screw with you. I also liked how we did see Ace jump in there and spotted that the rocks were low on health and pulled away, so he does know that Sen is going for that third expansion up too.
Yeah,
and oh, nice final cancel there.
Yeah, he actually canceled and got back on making another extractor, which is going to help him out quite a bit. There's a chance that he might be able to cancel and make a run for the main, possibly to see what's going on, but I don't think the drone will live that long. He actually just lets the extractor die, and with that second of vision that you get right after something dies, he did see that an assimilator went up immediately, I think.
He could insinuate that.
Because you usually do get like a second or so right after the unit dies, and the problem with the vision, like if you look, you can't see anything. But sometimes when you just start a Protoss building, you see the animation that it doesn't show in the fog of war because there's this little tiny black dot. So I can't tell if he actually saw that or not. It seems like he should be aware of the fact that Ace wanted to grab that gas immediately. And by seeing the Stalker first, that's going to be important as well. Usually when you see a Stalker first, it means that the Protoss players can be a little bit more aggressive. He saw that he really wanted that gas. He was committing a lot to kill that extractor. So he should be making some units here in just a moment. He's got his Roach Warren done, 9 roaches on the way. He needs to get an army out here because he saw enough clues to figure out that Ace was going to try and attack him. And with that quick third base, he should realize that he needs these units. And yeah, he is going to be starting to produce some Zerglings to back up those roaches.
So Sen was at Zelnaga Watchtower when a troop of Ace was moving on by, so he does know that there's a huge forge there in the middle of the map, and probably can anticipate the pylon being dropped there too. So these roaches are mobilizing to the third base in preparation as if they were going to be heading up there. There are no units there from Sen to just catch what's going on, but there was an Overlord though that did spot a pylon at the north, so he knows he can warp in there, and it looks like he is moving roaches to take it out.
Yeah, if you look at this as compared to last game, there's less sentries. He's compensated with that by getting more Stalkers out earlier, and that's actually allowed him to get the Twilight Council down much faster because of the fact that the sentry count is so much lower. And also drop a robotics facility, so it looks like he's going to be able to get out an observer and possibly be able to deal with those roaches when they burrow. So this is actually really strong play here by Ace. Even though he's behind in supply by about 40, he's going to be in a good position as long as he doesn't lose this force here in the center of the map. Once Blake finishes and once he gets an observer, he's actually going to be in a really good position against the forces that Sen has out on the field.
Yeah, really just hanging tight right now, waiting for those upgrades to move on in, and also a second wave of roaches to come on by too. We have 7 right now in production, and also halfway done with Blink Tech, so looking pretty similar to the previous game right now in terms of bases at least. And yeah, with that forward pylon really able to reinforce right now is our player Ace. Roaches right now, no upgrades just yet, about to get Burrow.
Oh, but look at this, Sen attacking up the ramp, but Ace actually completely force-fielding it, and Sen with an intelligent decision just burrows all of his roaches. He sees that Ace used a lot of sentry energy, so he just burrows, trying to stall for time, but the observer gets here, and now the roaches are taking a bunch of damage. Ace force fields over the roaches so they can't unburrow. And Sen is in quite a bit of trouble right now, losing the vast majority of his roaches for nothing because of those excellent force fields by Ace. He's
that
pulling in
observer
some
timing was
reinforcements.
fantastic, being there at the right time when those roaches were burrowed. And really right now, we're just seeing Sen just losing all kinds of numbers. So many roaches being just taken out here.
Yeah, and once again, he is going to be losing those sentries, but he's got the blink done. He's going to be reinforcing with a lot of stalkers, so he's going to be just fine. He's up to 6 gateways with blink stalkers. This is going to be very tough for Sen to deal with after he lost that many roaches for basically nothing. You can see he's just withdrawing, trying to buy as much time as possible to get more units out on the field. He will be able to chase Ace back just for the moment because the creep is still withdrawing, but he killed all the creep tumors. Once his creep is gone, he's going to be able to push in here very aggressively, and if he does the awesome blink micro that we've seen him do in the past, this will be very difficult for Sen to deal with. Look at this great position. He's got the bottom of the ramp where Sen can't get a concave on him with his roaches. The Zealots up in front taking the shots while he blinks away. These stalkers are doing great amounts of damage to these roaches. Just look at that blink micro.
+2 right now. Roaches are pure vanilla other than their ability to burrow. They do have speed, and that's about it working for him, but he is blinking back yet again, showing off how epic he is at just pulling these, just microing these stalkers here.
Yeah, and there's the GG from Sen. Just that blink micro from Ace. So good. And just that combined with the positioning. He just set himself up here at the bottom of the ramp. He put his units in a way that Sen would, if he chose to fight, would have to fight on the ramp. And when you're a Zerg player, clumping up all your units onto a ramp and engaging your enemy is about the worst place you want to do that.
Yeah, and Ace, especially after playing that first game, picked up on so many things he was able to just work with in the second one. He knew exactly how to prevent Sen from doing exactly what he did previously, forcing him to get those links earlier on, and also getting that observer out too, which is really, really cool. Seeing how he utilized that with his immense number of sentries out there, and just denied any kind of benefits that having him burrow on those roaches would give him rather.
Yeah, that was just really good play from Ace, and I mean, Sen was trying to deal with it. He got caught out of position by those force seals because he just didn't expect the observer so quickly. And he would have been, I think he would have been alright if it wasn't for those force fields that Ace dropped on top of the roaches. He actually had them positioned in a way that if the roaches unburrowed, they'd be forced closer to the army of Ace. So it was just kind of this situation. I'm shooting your roaches while they're burrowed.
Between a rock and a hard place,
they're
really
going
no
to
way
die.
for them to run at that point.
And if you unburrow, they're going to die faster. And at that point, it's just,
you got to figure out which one's going to be the less crappiest option at that point. Yeah, but he did. I guess he really wanted to keep on pushing with that. Maybe if he just held back a bit more, waited for more roaches, it might have been a bit better. But given the way that map was set up with that ramp there, you really can't force that many roaches into play. It was really a situation where the force fields just kept a lot of roaches from being unable to do what they do, which is like, it's kind of an attack of some sort. But really, though, having those sentries out there, having an observer was just a beautiful combination just to counter whatever Sen was thinking up there. And, yep, Ace saw that after game one and just kept on pushing it there.
Yeah, it was also a really good job of him. Every time Sen walked at him aggressively, he pulled back towards a ramp or some sort of a choke point. Like, whenever he got caught in between these two ramps, he was backing up to where his pylon is. Because of this ramp, the high ground is going to make it very difficult for Sen to engage there. And then he pushed up to the next ramp and just stood there. So just really good game sense by Ace. We will be moving on to the next series here in just a moment, guys. But we will be taking a quick 2-3 minute break while we get everything set up. So stay tuned. We're going to be back in just a few minutes with Czech Prime versus Dignitas show.
Hang tight, guys.